everybody, welcome back to my channel. Chloe here, and we're going to be taking a look at Alkahest. Alkahest is a game that I've wanted to check out for a very long time, and yes, it is a visual novel, and I said that I was going to stop playing as many visual novels, but I'm making an exception again for this visual novel because I have wanted to play it for so long, and I just have not gotten around to it. We got stuck on Camp Buddy for all those months. Oh my god, do you guys ever look back and realize how much we spent on Camp Buddy? I love Camp Buddy, but oh my god, is that a long game. Man, that is such a long game. Anyways, I really want to check out Alkahest. I don't know how much of the game I will be checking out for the channel. I kind of just wanted to sort of dip my feet into it just to see what it is about and what it's like. And I know it's like a fantasy story and it looks really cool and it's got really gorgeous art. But since that it is, you know, it is like an action-based fantasy story, there are some things that I need to bring to light to do a little content warning here. Probably not going to be a good Let's Play for those of you who don't like violence, you don't like psychological manipulation, if mind control is bad for you, any kind of murder, blood, that kind of thing that is present, suggestive intimidation, implicit sexuality is something that's explicitly listed. So I think it's just that's hard to describe. I know what they're getting at. You know what I'm saying? I know what they're getting at. I'm trying to describe that kind of situation, but it's mind games basically. So it's not. It's telling the story of a pretty toxic relationship where it's got some toxic power dynamics here between the characters. So for those of you who find that material triggering or you don't like that material, please check out the games that are not upsetty spaghetti playlist that is on my channel. You can check that out for games that generally are devoid of triggering substances. So without further ado though, we're gonna get right into Alkahest. I'm very excited to get started. Ooh. Oh my god. Look at this. Yo, you know what this reminds me of? This old, 90s style. It reminds me of, 90s style, choose your... Oh, wait, whoa, it's auto-playing? Don't do that, please. I will decide when I want to play. So anyways, it's reminding me of very 90s kind of... You bitch. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is that it reminds me of very 90s style choose your own adventure games where they had those kind of painted colored pencil backgrounds. That's what this looks like to me. So this is a very cool kind of throwback. I really love the contrast between that and the very solid line artwork that's being done with the character sprite. I think that that's really cool. I think that this is also really cool, but it's very, very big. And it's very, very pretty and it's very, very intricate. It's taking up a lot of space. So we'll see how that pans out as we play along. So here we go. I sit before my captor, finally calm after the effort it took to wrestle me into the spell chamber. The shackles throttling my wrists are made of military-grade galvanized steel. It isn't their weight that concerns me. A magic suppressant radiates from each metal link, choking my quintessence into cold silence. Not much of the molecule swims in my blood to begin with, but with little magical ability God has blessed me with no longer answers my body's call. And the dowsing crystal, hanging from Logan's neck. Ah, kitten, don't look at me like that. You've possessed my roommate's body, punched me in the face, then chained me up for reasons unknown to me. If you wanted a warmer welcome, you could have requested a consultation like a normal person. I elbowed you in the face. A small but important distinction. My apologies. Let's cut to the chase, shall we? Will you behave for me? Will I behave? My glare's molten. Like it's in that body, do you? I'll admit it. I too sometimes wish I could take another life for a time. Not sure I would go for Logan, however. Between the potions addiction, poor rampant alcoholism, and mounting debt, living his life wouldn't be my idea of a vacation. The hostile entity wearing Logan's face laughs. One night is all I'll need in this uncouth husk. I enjoyed my freedom from your so-called citizen's obligations for a decade. Without all the audits, the tracking, I built an infamy more powerful, more unlimited than your friend could ever imagine. You think I would have given it up for what? Safe passage between districts and taxes? I roll my eyes. Great. A treater. You know, I fix a piping hot pot of regenerative tea 4 times a month for one of your sisters in arms. She tries to convert me to the cause whenever she sees me, and haven't knocked over my first church well yet. Oh, I get it. You mistake me for some silly ideologue out to change the city for the better. Happy to report that I'm much worse than that. My reasons for interrupting your riveting evening plans are quite simple. Your roommate killed me. I'm not especially happy about it. My payback? Pure poetry. I snort, incredulous. Get in line. After a moment of mutual staring, I shrug. You're ruder than you look. Nowadays, I'm not often given the chance to be. If not the elusive mixer of 13th Street doesn't get out much, he's got no one to blame but himself. Not that name. You hide out here in your little potions haven, looking down on everyone. I don't blame you. Your patrons certainly reek of limited schemes. But you may want to fix your staff rating on the shadow net. Great with product, terrible with customers. Stands out in a bad way. Terrible with unscheduled customers. Logan deals with the walk-ins now. No wonder they take you for a cold fish. That slimy assessment would have been insult enough without the home invasion. So the merchandisey, eh? I bet the fool himself thought clever with that one, eh? Not particularly. The name was handed down to him. Ah, blaming the tacky branding on poor Lady Jessamine, are we? God rest her soul. Whoever I'm talking to knows Jessamine once owned this place. Is it Jessamine or Jessamine? Sorry? I would have changed it up for something a bit grander. You types always think you matter more than you do. More people skip your hooligan 6 o'clock news features than you think. Ha, sure you do. Diligent little worker bees, a lot of you. Can't skip citywide ABA emerge alerts, though. I do so enjoy the incessant drone of a good blast. Bizz bizz. The Ascendancy broadcast agency's emergency alert earlier, the one about the Pre-Soul blaze outside of Westgate. Serious enough to interrupt all broadcast feeds, including the expensive Grand South concert at their stream a friend hooked us up with. Logan left for the Outer Plums days ago. Wearing exactly that, but strapped to the nines with major heat. Did he? The slow but steady encroach of the Pre-Soul wilderness on city gates has been a source of conflict for several hundred years. When our aggression only hastened the Pre-Soul's advance, buildings crumbling under pre-natural supermoss and vine, our brightest minds established a new council and a new god by usurping the throne. Cartography replaced the ravenous warmongering of Lore's final dynasty. To this day, it remains illegal to enter the Pre-Soul without government supervision. While inquiry may have replaced hostility, demand persists, and so must a West District merchant's inventory. That you in there, Archibald? The stranger laughs. Archibald Belange, the merchants of Chine Street. A petty guess. Why don't you just tell me who you are, then? You think my knowledge stops at your reputation among the city's lowlives? I know how far you've fallen. Mellow Curacao, and I know your brightness precedes you. I won't talk without good reason. Ah, there it is. Now you'll play with me, won't you? Haven't called Mellow by anyone but Logan and family in a long time. You're in his head. Of course you know things about me. Or maybe they're not. Logan, if you're blocking them out, then how did they know me? You look good. Bit of a shiner, growing about that eye, but the whispers around the district weren't an exaggeration, Stowen. I clear my throat. Can't afford to be thrown off guard for their amusement. That damned dowsing crystal. I never took it seriously as a body compass, treating it more like a child's mood ring than a possible lifeline. In theory, I know how it works. Despite whatever Logan got up to in the Pre-Soul, whoever drove his body back into the city doesn't come from Faystock. Grayish mulberry isn't their color, but what entity I'm dealing with escapes me. Think, damn it. Enjoy yourself while you can. This won't last long. Oh, is that right? Not gonna stop me, Mellow. You're very confident for someone seated before their possessed lover, is it? Just a friend, thank you very much. Alright, maybe once or twice. In my defense, I was desperately homesick for a few tidy months. Doing much better these days. Right. I tilt my head, picking apart the scorn in search of the truth beneath. This body snatcher thinks they're holding someone very dear to me hostage as we speak. Fine, let's try a different angle. Why should a random contract care for sleazy dive bar gossip anyway? Thankfully, the insult lands. Contract? You said you were infamous. Did mean old Logan hunt you to your demise? So maybe you came for him, one of his many enemies. My circle of infamy. Not the sort of criminals a bottom-feeding hunter can reach easily. Besides, Mellow, I hear no disapproval in your voice. Only accomplice would co-sign the crimes that man has committed. I had nothing to do with your death, if that's what you're suggesting. You didn't arm him with the potions used against me. I make healing tonics and temporary quintessence multipliers. Not my fault you let him outlast you. Now, whatever you could possibly want with me, I can't help you. I'm not that kind of alchemist. And what sort of alchemist are you? Whatever alchemist you're looking for. I thought you might say that. We lock in a bluff for silence. No one comes to West District for send-to-sea licensed services. I suppose it was always pointless to pretend we were a law-abiding operation, but at least the lie didn't hurt. Why me? There are better alchemists in West District. Oh, sure, quite true. But while your skills are required... Oh my god, sorry. Sorry, everyone. But while your skills are required, Mello, I'm here because it pains him. To wring every last drop of hope from Logan before I kill him. My only remaining purpose in this world. Even better to make him watch as you help me do it. And sheer malicious conviction in that, in Logan's voice. Imprisoned by another in the cage of his own body, a horror of unimaginable proportions. This is personal. Is revenge ever impersonal? I don't know what I meant. Hard to like your killer, which is why I won't be sad if you hate me. A chill shivers down my spine. My crisis preparations have been found lacking. If we make it out alive, I won't allow this to happen again. Just don't let your feelings spoil the batch. The batch, huh? Okay, time to confront the situation head on. I took a hard look at our surroundings. Once a storage room bursting with cardboard boxes and useless junk, the spell chamber now smokes with pungent vapors at all hour of the night. And the external grime of the merch mart, legal storefront outside these reinforced walls is deliberate. Misdirection for the unwitting bystanders. We curse and chant and brew a decent profit beyond its snack-lined aisles. Low-level ascendancy cops out for a stroll down our block will only find vacant warehouses left to rot in this part of town. Only someone familiar with this invincibility magic, enchantments, and the shadow market beneath our city's legal trade could know to seek anything or anyone of value here. I'm here because it pains him. Wait. Grayish mulberry. I know it. I know that color. To wring every last drop of hope from Logan before I kill him, my only remaining purpose in this world. A lemur. A hateful spirit unable to cross the final river until a binding code of revenge is enacted upon its maker. Set to staple itself to the nearest warm body at the moment of creation, then leapfrog to the next upon the death of its sentient vessel. A mortal soul, once human, now grotesque and bound to... Logan. Shit. Don't let them see you know what they are, Mello. Can't make you rich, not tonight. We're fresh out of the catalyzers needed for the cryopsych alchemy, and we have, I run the numbers in my head, 12 gold nuggets left. That might be enough to smuggle you into Grand South, but it's a good thing I'm not here for that. I figured, but it was worth a shot. I slide my eyes over the many playground of Elrix and Kirkabits. I'll need to check out our stores. According to last month's audit, we're out of rippled solely. Is that poor inventory management or a poor play deception? Little B, I've admired your greenhouse already. Incompetence. It's incompetence I haven't taken stock with this week. With Logan away from the shop, I've been overwhelmed with other tasks. And the menus, well, it's gone to shit if I'm entirely honest. Not you. Are you entirely honest? Yes, I need to update the books, that's all. I wouldn't try to weasel out so clumsily, not with my life at stake. I should hope not. Nevertheless, was another final drop for you added to the list. I enjoy granting death wishes when I can. It's even worse than I thought. Crossover alchemy. Inundated of magic. Harm forced upon another through illegal artifice. That's what they want from me. Final drop? Yes. 4 of them. Some part of me would have liked to have found Genesis tonic materials in your stores, but these will do nicely. You know how to brew them, don't you? Ingestion of a final draught not only shortens any living person's Styx timer to 0, but allegedly destroys all chance for a soul's return to this mortal plane. Do I know how to brew such a hopeless elixir? In theory, yes. The countdown is a sacred time of contemplation, both before the disperse of the soul back into the natural world. I don't think I could rob someone into the 6th timer. Angst about your immortals to someone else. I have a job that needs doing. I shouldn't let such savagery surprise me, but the city's wrong about the people who flock to West District to survive. Yes, we may be rough. The majority of us are not cruel. Then go make the draughts of yourself. Competent shitheel. Did I say the last part out loud? You can't, can you? Perhaps I can work with that. No, I get it. You take pleasure in forcing discomfort upon others. You can do it then. No more lies, Mello. It's in your best interest to be useful tonight. I lick my lips, unable to argue with that. If the lemurs found evidence in Logan's mind that have doubled before, that it won't help to say things otherwise. But are they in Logan's mind? They likely got at least part of the way in there. Better act with caution and assume that they know more than I don't. A final draught needs a full moon in order to... Lucky timing, no? I could try to argue that it's actually wax and gibbous, that it only looks full, but Logan would know otherwise. Now I'm beginning to see the full shape of things. What harm can it do to tell me who you are? I would need to know your exact spiritual taxonomy to be of any real threat to you. You haven't the slightest idea. Should I? Suppose not. Looks like they're buying into my ruse. Good. Logan keeps secrets. He's always done that. You mustn't take the foolish decisions of old men personally. Old? Seems your mind has slowed considerably since your university days. University days? Right, Logan knows the vague details of that ordeal, but he never pried and ungrateful for that. And I'm the rude one. Can't you smell the glamour holding the skin I'm in together? I meant to be able to smell that through the cheap cologne and stale sweat. He's a good decade older than you think. The vanity. Hilarious. Although I shouldn't disdain the skill involved, I would dispel the illusion if I could, alas. I narrow my eyes. A cosmetic spell? Skin deep, about as banal as brushing your teeth in the morning. But a glamour, physical modification, a pain to cast and laborious to maintain due to the amount of quintessence required. A few regulars come to us for metamorphic elixirs simply to cut costs, and I swore one for an entire year when I first arrived in the West District. Personal transfiguration is hardly illegal. What it is prohibitively expensive. Logan found me at my lowest, hid me away. Spent months teaching me the provisioning side of this hunting business so I might make a new life out here. I know what kind of person I live with regardless of what he shows me. Now you said 4 final draughts. Who are they for? Back to business, are we? Very well. 1 for Logan Apollo, vanquisher of evils both eternal and otherwise. 1 each for the 3 most dear to him. Fortunately for you, you're not among their company. The sting is easy to ignore. I'll need names, blood too, and so you should have all that you need. What? How? Ah, pet. I scrunch my nose. Pity is a hard emotion to sell on a face like Logan's. He's paranoid. Your friend. He has their blood already. They did not give it willingly. Bullshit. Bullshit. He never would have hurt anyone close to him. Did I say that he did? He took their blood without their consent. A painless act and a cunning one. I shake my head, refusing to hear it. He wouldn't do that. Behold, mellow, material, and proof. Lemur ducks behind the table long enough to emerge with a fist-sized carton. I present the caddy to me as though it were a silver platter. 4 vials, 4 names. Logan Apollo, and I Spall, Alder Clay, and Jessamine Mire. Speech escapes me for long enough to matter. Alder and Officer Spall, most dear to Logan? A laughable lie, but Jessamine can't be unless he kept their blood for a Genesis tonic? Don't do this, Mello. You've 0 reason to doubt him. By the look on your face, he most certainly told you that they were dead. Not just Logan, but everyone in the district who knew him. Jessamine Mire was legendary, one of the few monsters whose natural quintessence levels or beyond ascendancy measure. Supposedly, they set up shop in West District around the same age I did. Only their exile to the worst side of town was self-imposed, and when they died, people couldn't let that one go. Happened before I took up residence in the Dicey, and Jessamine sightings still show up on the Treasure Shower forums now and then. It's alright, Mello, your eyes betray you. Damn it, I have to do better than this. You know Jessamine? You could say that. Challenge, that, Manser. I do respect how much trouble they gave the council. That would be, 40-something by now? Older kitten. Who do you think taught your employer how to smooth away wrinkles and thicken up these brutish arms? I've seen their tools, cleaned them. The display case over the bar, that staff was a gift from them. A sturdy wooden rod inlaid with mercury in the shape of an L. Logan's inheritance. The passing of such an heirloom is a... Spare me the soppy romance about bonds between hunters and their weapons. That staff is displayed in service to Logan Apollo's lives, not out of respect for Jessamine Mire's legacy. Seen it lately by chance? I did find it odd of Logan to choose Jessamine's gift for a praisal trek. But different journeys require different weapons. It wasn't cause for concern. I should have known better. Jessamine is out there alive, but perhaps not well. Even at death's door, they express no love for their beloved successor. Aren't you curious to know the reason? That blood. No, I won't let mind games corrupt my focus. Why should you care if I believe you? Alchemy is chemistry, not spell work. Okay, guys. I think I'm actually going to bring this episode to a close. I think that this is a very interesting story. I don't know if I'm going to play more of it simply because I feel like there's nothing written incorrectly about it per se. I think that it's just throwing a lot of word jargon at me all at once. And I feel like I don't really understand necessarily what's going on per se. Like, you don't want to open up a story, for example, and say things and be like, this is like the equivalent to this in like your world, no. Like, you don't need to do that. It's just, we're in one location talking to someone, and I feel like I'm getting like a lot of this backstory. And while it's not being explicitly stated, it's also just kind of, instead of experiencing it myself, I'm experiencing it through someone talking about their memories. It's kind of a little weird for me to articulate, but I really like it otherwise. I might keep going. in fact, let me know. Leave a like on this video if you want me to play more of it. And then also, please consider subscribing to the channel. And when you subscribe, be sure to the notifications bell so you get updates on when I upload future episodes. Without further ado, thank you all so much for watching. Bye! I would like to give a very special shout out and thanks to my patrons, AceWolf741, Deep Dive Dylan, D. Roberts, Brian White, Deevil J, Caleb Putnam, Robin Harper, Bob Conway, Cody Webb, and Maticus Sama.